mindful educator. So clearly this is your passion, right? Teaching mindfulness to children. And where did you find the big holdup there for you in the classroom?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the standards and benchmarks that have been set in stone, my question was, why? I constantly found myself saying, why does this actually matter to kids? Because what I see is my students who are taking these tests or having to meet these standards, they're shutting down. It's hindering their creativity. It's making them second guess their choices and thoughts and making them feel inadequate. But I thought that we were supposed to be building kids up, empowering them to change the world, not to sit in a desk and follow someone else's orders. And so I saw that there was this really big difference where you have amazing educators right now who are spending every second of their free time implementing amazing curricula that's on their own dime, on their own time. But what's being provided for public education is not that. It's totally dependent on the educator in the class.
About how to better understand our emotions, because this one is a big one. Like, kids have such strong feelings because the lack of life experience, so to speak, right? Like, they don't know how
Right.
to manage those huge feelings they're having. Some adults don't either. I don't sometimes. Like, I have adult
Right.
feelings. So I love the way you communicate with your children on this. So let's give like some of your favorite examples that you feel really stick, and how you have that conversation.
Absolutely. I think the first advice I always give to educators and parents is mindful morning. Mindful morning can be, it looks like many different things. But the biggest thing here is, first off, listening. So first, listening to yourself. If you're the educator or the parent, what do you need? How do you need to start your day so that you can have the best day? Oftentimes, especially parents, don't even give themselves a moment to think about what they need to be their best version of themselves, you know?
Yeah.
And so that starts there. And then with kids, so my students know right away that it's mindful morning. We've created a routine, but they've created their own routine. So the lights are dim. I have the journal prompts on the board. They come in, they write their journal prompts, and some of them stay writing and drawing in their journal all day until we kick off with yoga. Or not all day, all morning. Like all morning till we start our official day together. Because I have to be outside my classroom taking temperatures. That's how, you know, this year's going. So I can't be in the classroom with them in the morning. So I had to think of a way for them to not all run in the classroom and get all crazy and, you know, chaotic. And so this has really worked for me. And then I have other students who like to color in the morning. So they'll grab a coloring sheet and color in the morning. I have students who like to do yoga on their own. I have many students who like to start reading in the morning. And so, of course, this took, you know, talking about how are you going to create your routine? What are things that you need to do in the morning? So they know what they can do and what they can't do. And so they can talk to the people around them, but we can't be running across the classroom, right? They can go for, we have a hand signal if they need to go on a walk on their own or if they want to walk with a friend. And so I think giving students the choice, or your children right away in the morning, where they already know the things that they can do and the things that they can't do, but yet they get to choose what is going to put me in the best headspace for the day. Apologize to your children, to your students when it's necessary, or even when you just feel like you should, because that shows them that we're always growing, and not that we are superior, but we're just helping guide them in this thing we call life.
I think apologizing is really important. And I feel like parents sometimes have a hold up on that. It's really hard because like there's a pride thing involved there. And talk to me about this, like the way you taught your kiddos about their, it was the beast.
Yes, the beast. Oh, this is my favorite activity. So This kind of came about as I was getting my kids yoga certification. We were just talking, we did a social emotional, one of the curriculum or one of the portions was social emotional. We were just talking about, you know, the emotions that kids feel and how to make them aware, but not make them judge. And I was like, oh, that's so important, because I spent most of my life being upset at myself if I was upset, or being upset at myself if I handled the situation wrong, you know, not giving myself grace or sitting with myself. Yeah. You know, I would automatically jump to, oh my gosh, Mary, how could you do that? That's so dumb. Or you were being so blah, 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 right? And playing out scenarios. And I, you know, the idea of the beast came up, like the shadow of ourselves, the part that when we push away any emotions we don't want to feel or experiences that we don't feel good about, we push it into the belly of the beast. And then something could happen that was not a big deal, but since we've suppressed everything down, within just a snap, it can lash out and the beast will take over. You know, we have life talks often in my classroom where a student will bring something up, and instead of saying, nope, we're not going to talk about that, I say, let's talk about that. What's your background knowledge on this? And what do you, we call that schema. What do you already know? And then we go from there, right? What do the kids already know? Let's talk about misconceptions and let's guide it to an objective, you know, some type of big overall idea. And I had a student who had just had a big old fight with their sibling. And she had said, it wasn't even me who was yelling at him. And that just stuck with me. I was like, oh, okay, that's our beast. So then I was like, everyone get a piece of paper and draw your beast. What is the anger, the sadness, the rage? What does that look like for you? And they drew, you know, all different types of beasts. And the one that had lashed out, it was this huge, big purple and pink monster. And then she had drawn herself way smaller in the corner. And it brought me to tears right away, because she was like, this is the part of myself that yells at myself. This is the part of myself that holds me to, or shows, you know, this is the part of myself that really is everything and I don't like about myself. And then we went from there. And I was like, okay, these are our beasts. Are we ever going to get rid of our beasts? And they were like, well, no. It's like, yeah, so we might as well take our beasts to tea. Let's sit with them. What do our beasts want to tell us? What is our anger telling us? What is it showing us? How can we love and make friends with the parts of ourselves that we've been told are bad? Because they're not bad. We're humans who get to experience anger, right? When we're mad, that's ourselves being like, hey, you've messed up. I'm mad. I'm going to tell you about it. You know, we're looking out for ourselves. So instead of coming with anger and anger, right, it's being loving to every part of ourselves. So I recommend anyone just draw what you feel like, all of those, what we've classified in the past, right, as negativity or things that aren't awesome. Draw it out and sit with it. Why did you depict your beast that way? And a lot of times it's linked to things in childhood, you know, when you felt like you were so small and the world was so big and you had no control. And sadly, that is the reality for many humans, especially with childhood trauma and especially just with the way that our society is. And so I think making friends and sitting with every part of ourselves is a way to come to inner peace. It's not pushing it away, right? It's being present with everything that makes us.